Good morning. Welcome to the Daily Money Market. You are actually with me, Che Yusuf. So we are about to get in terms of what's been happening, what's going to happen this week about the market, and as well as just a recap about what's been happening last week. The biggest one for this week it's Jackson Hole meetings. Jackson Hole meetings. It's all economics traders and analysts in terms of the market. They're looking forward to hear what's going to happen coming from Thursday all the way to Friday, and that will be a Jackson Hole meeting. The last person to speak at Jackson Hole meeting, there will be a federal chair of United States Reserve, which is Jeremy Powell. So for now, let's just get back and see what's been happening last week, and again to see what exactly is gonna cook for this week. All right. So in terms of the high impact volatility for this week, we are seeing that on Monday there's no much, but we're seeing format member Willie speaking, expecting high movement again from a high impact volatility there. On Tuesday, China 5-year loan prime rate. 2:30 p.m. we're seeing Canadian dollar CPI month to month, expecting again a high impact volatility for Canadian dollar there on Tuesday. Moving on Wednesday, there's a crude oil inventory from 4:30 p.m. from US. Again, we're gonna see high movement there from crude oil as well as Brent oil. At p.m. there's a format meetings as well that is happening on Wednesday. High impact movement there for dollar instrument and all correlated instrument to a dollar. On Thursday there's a French fresh manufacturing PMI. There's a German fresh manufacturing PMI. There's also GDP flash service PMI. So a lot of euro instrument having high impact movement there. That's when Jackson Hole it's starting on Thursday. Okay, so getting on Thursday, as we said, is the Jackson Hole meetings that are coming on Thursday all day. Again, we've been saying about US flash manufacturing PMI, US also flash manufacturing PMI coming on 345. There's also ECB monetary policy meetings that are coming also on Thursday. Going on Friday last week of the day, we've seen core retail sales from Canada. And as well as Fed Chair Powell speaking on 4 p.m. That will be on a Jackson Hole. Bank of England also they're having a monetary policy decision on Friday as well. So a hell of a lot of movement in terms of Great British pounds, in terms of euros, and as well as USD. As we said, the biggest story of this week it's a Jackson Hole meetings that a lot of people they are waiting for to hear what is going to happen and see where the direction of the market is going. All right. So when it comes to last week, in terms of what's been happening, it's been a lot of stuff that's actually happened last week. But the market watch of last week, it was starting from US data that were happening UK data that were happening on 3:30 p.m. From UK. Then we saw also US industrial function. We saw the Feds also speaking. We saw again a little bit of earnings that we saw last week. Pretty much been a lot of movement in terms of the market. We saw S&P 500 pushes back again to where it was and actually break that type of a price to another range price. So that was really fantastic in terms of the earnings pushing the price of the stocks again back to where it was. And the UK data actually did well this cycle. We saw jobless rate sitting at 4.2%, CPI of them positive 2.2%, GDP of UK second quarter 0.66% in terms of growth, retail sales from as well as in the United Kingdom negative 0.6%. But they have 3 consecutive data coming that are positive, only one that was negative, which was retail sales. GDP was good 0.6, CPI 2.2, jobless rate 4.2. So that was good in terms of in terms of UK, data cycle that comes on a second quarter. So that's what happened last week as well. Key data points again, there was Walmart earnings that comes, retail sales from US, and initial jobless claims. So we saw the Walmart earnings comes on third quarter, adjusted, expected for the 1 cent to 42 cents expectations. So they were actually missing. They actually get for the 1 cent per share price. They were expecting to grow to 52 cents per share price. So we saw those are things that actually pushes the price in terms of the market. And another one was Fed swap price in less than 100 basis points of earnings. So a lot of economists and analysts, they were thinking that before the end of this year, Federal Reserve, they're gonna increase to at least 100 basis points. So they're expecting September 50 basis points, maybe November 50 basis points. By December we'll have 100 basis points that have been reduced. For that only, the spike of market like NAS100, we saw pushing the price up. Retail sales again pick up by more than a focus in a broad advance. If we see it in terms of the numbers of retail sales, the actual was 1.0%, estimated 0.4%. Initial jobless claim 227K, estimated 235. Continuously claiming 1864K and 1870 estimation. So continuously claim, that's the one that actually increased. That shows a little bit of positivity that at least people are actually claiming for the job or are looking for job. Another crisis that comes again for the from last week coming for this week, it's actually the mpox strain that actually affected a couple of countries in Africa. So that's a disease. Actually, I've heard this morning talking about that they're actually preparing to receive the aid from United States in some of the countries in Africa. All right, Jackson Hole, it's what we are actually expecting it in terms of the great market movement for this week. Another stuff that comes from United Kingdom, it's Five Guys. I don't know if you guys know Five Guys. Five Guys, it's one of the guys that do burgers. They're actually in a competitor or in competition in McDonald's. They're actually planning to actually plant over 2,000 stores entire Europe. We saw reducing their burgers to $5. But anyway, $5, that's a lot of money. That's close to 100 rand in SA. So that's too much. So that's another story. But again, looking forward, because of the interest rate cut is coming on September, what are the Fed's data calendar look like? So August 23, that's the Jackson Hole. Today we're sitting on August 21. On 23, it's a Jackson Hole Fed's meeting. We're expecting September 6. It's a job report, which is NFP, non-farm payroll, is coming on September 6. September 11, there's consumer price index from US CPI. September 18, that's a Federal Reserve decisions. Federal Reserve decisions. Again, there's some analysts that pop up with the story of Kamala Harris in terms of the policies, what exactly she's strong on in terms of her policies, because again, she's been shaking the campaign. If you look at the campaign in terms of Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, so there's a couple of policies, because of most of the economists and the traders, they trade based also the leader that is going to be in the United States. Last month when Trump wanted to get assassinated, we saw a lot of people jumping into the Trump trade. So they were trading based on what policies Trump used to implement. So expecting that when they win, they're going to implement the same thing. So if it was maybe it was a high employment rate, or it was a lot of people getting employed, people they were giving a positivity to a dollar and start betting in a positive way, or speculating in a positive way. Now when it comes to Harris policies, it's Harris foreign policy key figures Philip Gordon, National Security Advisory. It's a vice president of Harris. So because of he was a national security advisory, so is to constrain or to make sure that the United States is strong with the policies of security. Rebecca Leysen, Deputy National Security Advisory, and then Jake Sullivan, National Security Advisory to President. All these guys, they were in a very big position in terms of sitting in a parliament or sitting in a house of members, in the US. Again, what else will we see last week or moving to this week? We saw Germany to reject the aid to Ukraine, to Kiev. Germany, because of the way in actually elections, and they're debating in the parliament that should we pass this aid to Ukraine or should we not. Again, speaking of Ukraine and Russia war, there's also conversation that is happening between Israel and Hamas in terms of ceasefire. When it comes to this week calendar, we do have another calendar. Besides the high impact volatility one, Monday it's a Democratic National Convention, which also Jackson Hole preparation. We're seeing China earnings coming, Sweden take a rate decision, so Sweden also is going to have the interest rate this week. Wednesday it's a US retail sales earnings, ECB, European Central Bank, speaking again. Thursday it's a European Central Bank PMIs, again coming the data. Friday it's a Powell speaking at the Jackson Hole, and as well as the Bank of Japan in a parliament. Again, another interesting story about the Bank of Japan or about the Japan. Remember last time we talked about how people that live in China, to go to Japan to do their shoppings, and this thing has been happening, again, last month Bank of Japan decided to increase the rate. This month it decided to cut back again the rate to 25 basis points. So you can see that the numbers in terms of retail sale numbers in Japan are actually very high, and that's why a lot of people right now they are concentrating and actually investing in a Japanese yen. So that's a beauty about the Japan right now. The currency might not be that strong, but when it comes to economy itself, that area it's actually kicking. So yeah, man, thank you very much. That was about last week, and again, let's go and check how the market itself is looking. All right, so here's how the market is looking. Crazy stuff. So which one should we start with? We are looking at the us30, United States 30, some they call it the Dow Jones, the house of Dow Jones. So first of all, I'm going on an H4. If I look at it on an H4, the way the market it's look like, first of all, maybe I can make it a little bit clear. I know the chart looks really messed up. Okay. Maybe this is showing a little bit better. All right, so if you look at it, you can see that the market is actually already start pushing up to 41,034, and it's missing a little bit to get to 41,034. I mean, it's sitting at 40,895. That's the anticipation that the market can actually maybe hit this level. But about the Jackson Hole that is speaking, that is going to speak this week, and I'm anticipating a little bit of more positivity regarding to a dollar. That is why it takes me to a daily time frame now. It gives me the idea to let's go to a daily time frame and see what is the highest possible position of this market, and then we can actually anticipating from there. Okay. So clearly, this is what I'm anticipating when it comes to US30. I'm anticipating US30 to continue and touch for the 1,443 this week. For the 1,443, especially it can touch it maybe today, and once it touch there, maybe it might break and try to form the new possible. All right, guys. Thank you very much for actually watching this video. Please subscribe on the video as well. If you're actually interested in terms of one-on-one and to go through the market one-on-one with me, you can actually email me at the dailymoneymarket at gmail.com, the dailymoneymarket at gmail.com. We can have a conversation, we can have a webinar. I do host also free webinars every Friday, and 360 Capital Forex Broker, 360 Capital Forex Broker. You can hit me up, you can put an inbox or comment. I can send you a link for the webinars to check it out. Just a beginner webinar, so that you can know about the market, about actually the Forex market.